my top tips when polishing. Now, I don't really have a list here, like 1 through 10 top tips, so I'm just gonna go, kind of go off here and give you my tips free-handed while I do this. Number 1, it's all gonna start in the technique in which you hold your polisher. Now, there is a specific way you wanna do this. You don't really just wanna walk on the car and see, notice the cord right here. You don't wanna do this because number 1, you can trip, okay? And then number 2, you could potentially knock into the car, okay? And this can create some type of micro scratch. Probably won't, but you just always want to be as safe as possible, okay? What you really wanna do is take the cord just like this, and you wanna place it over your back, okay? I'm gonna turn around so you guys can see. See how the cord is free of the car, and I am able to work and go back and forth, and this cable is not in my way, okay? So that's a tip right there, the number 1 thing. I'll just keep it on here, but number 2 is swap out your pads often. So my rule is every section when I'm done, so like every panel, so we're talking about the fender well, talking about the door, you got a mirror. After around every section, I will swap out the pads. So like if I do the fender well, that's it for the pad, I'm done, okay? I'm gonna either wash it or grab another one. And I do have a bunch of pads, so like even right here, I already just get prepped and ready and have some pads ready to go, just because washing out can take a long time and drying and that stuff. But when it comes to bigger panels, I cut them in half. So like a door to me is a pretty big panel. So I'll polish one half and then grab another pad and do the other, just because for the simple fact that, you know, when your pads are so full with residue and paint and all that stuff, it doesn't really cut to its peak performance, because all of the polish and all the residue, the paint, it's in those pores of the, it's in the cells of the foam, and it's blocking those cells, and you need those cells to be free so it can effectively cut and polish. So yeah, another tip you want to also understand is that less can be actually more. Again, the same reason, too much polish can actually fill up those cells, and it's not going to let it cut or polish or do its job. So my rule is if I have a small section like a mirror, you definitely want to use less, okay? And if you have a bigger section or you're working on a bigger area, you want to add more polish, okay? Another tip is always start the machine when it's against the paint and always turn it off when it's against the paint. And this is to prevent fling, just because if you have polish on here, you just throw a bunch of polish on here and you turn it on, it's gonna go flying all around the car. And sometimes if it gets on trim or something like that, it can actually stain the trim and it just becomes a whole pain. Let me know if you guys have any other tips, drop them below. I think it's really cool that I can make this content and help you guys become better detailers. My name is Jesse, thanks.